Okay, in this video we will do steps 2E, F, and G, and we're basically being asked to add a count of the number of products to this report. And what we'll do is, in step E it says, in the report footer section, add a grand total count of the number of products, so on and so forth. And really, it's referring to a report section, like a footer section, group report footer in this case, group footer, group header, report header, a report section. You really have to switch to design view because we don't have access to the various sections in layout view. We could add a count, just a rough count of products to the bottom of the report, but we would have to make additional changes according to these instructions, which cannot be done in this particular view. So I'm going to switch to design view. And looking at step E, it says in the report footer section, add a grand total count of the number of products that appear in the report. And basically, we don't see a report footer section. We see a bar here for the report footer, but there is no footer section to work in. But that's an easy fix. What you'll do is point to the bottom edge here of that bar with your mouse and edge in on it, and then you'll see the double-headed arrow, and at that point you want to press down on your left mouse button and pull down and get yourself a report footer section. Okay? And then we're going to add to that a text box in which we will use our count aggregate function to get a count of either the product IDs or product type. Either one of those would be fine. So I'm going up to the ribbon here. Notice that I'm on the Design tab, and I see this control in the toolbox or in the Controls toolbox. That would be the text box. Okay, the text box. It has the A and B with the line next to it or the cursor next to it. That's the text box. And when you're being asked to add a calculated control, which you often are in this chapter, then this is the one you want to grab. Okay, so I'm going to click him and draw. I think it says, well, I can align it later, but somewhere around here is where we're putting it. Then we can fiddle with that when we're done with the important part. So what you get is actually two controls for the price of one, so to speak. You get the text box itself, and it also comes with a label, which we can change later. Okay? So we are being asked to get a count of the number of products. So we can count either the product ID field or the product type. We'll count product IDs because that would be easier to less typing. Okay. So what I'm going to do, let me see, I can't zoom on that. What I'm going to do is very carefully get in the text box. I'll type an equal sign. Always start with an equal sign when you're doing a calculated control. And we're being asked to get a count, so I'm going to type the word count. Okay? And then I'm going to open a paren. And what are we counting? We're going to count product IDs. So in square brackets, these are square brackets inside the parentheses, I'm going to type very carefully product ID exactly as I see it here in the detail section. In the detail section. Okay? I'll close my square bracket and then close my parentheses. Alright? That's my calculated control. And I'll go into report view real quickly. We're not done yet. And then I scroll down to the bottom. Here's another weird thing about Access 2007, or 2010 rather, is when I'm scrolling the report, I scroll to the bottom and it looks like I'm not getting my count. You can see it says text 59 and then a blank text box, but let go of the mouse and then it refreshes the report. It's kind of a weird little glitch with Access. 2010 and 2007 is like that as well. So you can see I have 64 products total. So the function is working. Your count aggregate function is working. The calculated control works. Let me go back to design view, and we'll finish up the rest of these instructions. Then I want to show you some little ins and outs. Let's see. It says make sure the control has a transparent border. Alright, so what I'll do, I have to change the border of the control here, and I'm going to right click this text box, right click the text box and select properties. Okay, And then I'm going to scan the properties for something that looks like it might be useful, and here we have border style. And I'm going to change it. See, it says solid. Let's change that to transparent. Okay, it looks like nothing happened, but then if I go into report view to check it, the border has gone away. Okay, and then let's see here. It says left align the count with the left edge of the contact last name text box. Okay, so this is the contact last name text box. I'm going to left align this control with the left edge of that control. So here I go, and I'll let go about there. Okay, and then the last thing we're asked to do, and this is step F, we're adding a label. Well, we already have a label, but we'll change the text to total products. And we're being asked to put it on the right, so it'll say 64 total products. So I'll move that over to the right. Okay, let's take a look. 64 total products. Okay, now let's see. Oh, one more thing, step G, left align the page number text box with the left edge of the price text box. That's a pretty easy fix. This is the page number text box. I'm left aligning this with the price text box, or the left edge of the price text box, so we'll just move that in a little bit. Now I want to go back to this. This is where if you take a wrong turn, it'll probably be in a calculated control, not typing the syntax just so. Everything's got to be perfect, otherwise you're going to have problems. For example, and this is the biggest heads up I can give you, we were counting product IDs. Could have counted product type as well. Okay, whatever field you're referring to, whether it be product ID, product type, anything, okay, city, price, you need to type that perfectly, exactly as you see it in the details section. This would be an honest mistake. Maybe a student would say, okay, I've got to count product IDs, and they're going to look in the page header and look at the label and see product space ID. Notice that's not the detail section. I said you have to type it exactly as you see it in the details section when you're creating calculated controls. We're not in the details section, we're in the page header. Honest mistake, but then the student's going to type it with a space. Okay? Doesn't seem like that big of a deal until I run the report and I get this enter parameter value text box or message box. And you're going to see this message box as you're doing reports and creating calculated fields, and what this means is that you've typed something wrong. You've typed something wrong. When you type something wrong, Access doesn't know what you're talking about, and it's saying you want to total up a field called product space ID, and that doesn't exist. We have a caption in the report called product space ID, but that's not the field. This is the official field name in the original table, in the product table. Okay, that's the official field name. That's what we're counting in our calculated control. And if you don't type it exactly like that, then that's when the problem is going to occur. So again, once again, when you see this guy, and you will, you've typed something wrong, and you have to go back and comb through those field names. You've typed something wrong in square brackets. Okay, so go through and see where you typed square brackets and check that field name and match it to the field name that would be in the details section, and that's the one that you want. So I'll get rid of that space, run the report again, and it works.